I've just installed a Ballon d'Or overhaul mod to see what would actually happen if the award was fair in FC25 career mode. It makes adjustments to the award criteria, putting more of a focus on trophies won per season, making it more realistic so players that score the most goals like Mbappe, Haaland and Vinny Jr. won't win it every year. It actually accounts for players' team achievements. Today, we're going to put it to the test to see if it's actually legit and how different the results are going to be over the course of a 5 to 10 year simulation. I'll be investigating. I'm getting down to business. I'm going to do background checks on all the winners to see their goals, assists, performances, trophies won, to see if they were actually a deserved winner. Ever since FC24, it's been officially licensed, and what I find extremely hilarious about the whole Rodri winning controversy is that in career mode, midfielders can't even win the Ballon d'Or. They let alone can't even get nominated, actually. So it's even funnier that a CDM won the Ballon d'Or in real life than EA actually had to tweet about it. The gall, the audacity to make a game, partner with the Ballon d'Or trophy, and not even let other positions win the award. Only strikers, wingers, and centre forwards can even be nominated for it, so it kind of cheapens the award in a way. And that's why we've gotten to this point where we need mods to make it realistic again. As always, lads, the mod link will be listed down in the description below if you want to go and try it out for yourselves. Drop the video a like down below if you want to see these more in-depth, specialized videos on specific mods. Now let's check in on 2024's top 4 nominees. The shortlist has been revealed, and it's kind of the same old story for Season 1. Haaland, Foden, Kane, and Lewandowski. And I can't check in on any of their stats yet because we're in Season 1. We literally have no data about them, so that'll all commence once we hit Season 2 and beyond. Alright, surprise, surprise, we get it. Season 1, Haaland always wins, no matter what you do. We gotta wait for the mod to kick in because it's basing it off last season's performances. So let's just keep chugging along, as it was impossible for Rodri to repeat what happened in reality. Vinny Jr. too, nowhere to be seen. I'm surprised he probably didn't even show up to the ceremony. I would have loved for the cutscene to play, but anyways, we're on to Season 2. 2025 nominees. Don't you guys think that ever since like the Messi versus Ronaldo dominance era ended, the Ballon d'Or debate has gotten way more of a mess, way more toxic? I feel like more people care about it than ever now because it's so open, because anyone can win. There are actually multiple cases for multiple players. It could have gone to, Rodri, Vinicius Jr., Bellingham. The race was quite open this year. No one really knew who it was going to go to in 2024, and it seems like that's going to be the case for the next couple of seasons, so we're going to be in for one hellstorm. It's just so attacker dominated that EA haven't even programmed other positions being allowed to win the award. Season 2 nominees are in, and okay, I see you, Lautaro. He's leading the pack alongside Haaland trying to go back-to-back, Mbappe and Phil Foden up for the award in the top 4. Some saying he should have won it in 2024, only ended up finishing 9th in the final Ballon d'Or rankings. Can the fellow Argentine follow in Messi's footsteps? And no, Haaland goes back-to-back, wins in 2024, now 2025. We gotta do some digging here. Let's check the facts, because Lautaro, Mbappe, or Phil Foden could have rightfully been robbed. Let's see what he was able to cook up in Season 2. Oh, okay, damn. He was outscored by Marcus Thuram, 40 goals and 8 assists from the Frenchman. As the captain of the club, 21 goals and 5. Is that even worthy these days of a Ballon d'Or nomination? He damn nearly frauded his way into the top 4. Is football really that finished? Brother, he had Callum Wilson outscore him and win the Golden Boot in Serie A. Yeah, there was no hope. They did go on to win Serie A quite comfortably, so that might have played a factor in the Supercoppa. They lost that one out, so again, not really much of a trophy haul here, as they didn't even make the final of the Coppa Italia. The Champions League, they weren't even in the Champions League, made it to the semi-finals and got knocked out against Milan. Not a season to write home about, and definitely not worthy of winning the Ballon d'Or. We can kill two birds with one stone here at Manchester City, and to be honest, I think we're going to be checking in on them quite a bit. So get used to it, fellas, as we're looking at what Haaland was able to cook up, and 45 goals, 11 assists. He broke his own Premier League goal scoring record with 37. Based on performances alone, I mean, Jeremy Doku, we could see rise up in the ranks. However, 56 goal contributions for a striker, still at only 24. I wouldn't be surprised if he does a 3-peat or a 4-peat. This could be danger, as Man City did end up winning the Premier League, of course. There's no denying their dominance in England, as Haaland also took home the Community Shield. No appearance though in the FA Cup final, knocked out quite early, so that one went away. As the Carabao Cup, they did the Mickey Mouse domestic treble. Knocked out early on, or knocked out in the semi-finals, as we saw earlier, to Manchester City 5-2. Haaland knocked out to the eventual champions Juventus. Foden with 7 goals and 6. I don't really see the hype in why he was nominated. Maybe just because he's freshly hit 90 overall. I don't know. Career mode in this game works in mysterious ways. Between Mbappe and Haaland, it could be a tight showdown. It could go neck and neck. They could form their little own Ballon d'Or rivalry like Messi and Ronaldo did. 36 goals, 13 assists, 49 goal contributions in comparison to Erling, who was well into the 50s. So I guess he kind of peeped him out in the goal production and assist department. He did win the Golden Boot in La Liga, top goal scorer over here in Spain, but they did lose out the title by 3 points to their bitter rivals Atletico Madrid. Doesn't really have too much silverware to be happy about. Mbappe copping L after L, a 2-1 loss to Barca in the Super Copa, but they did take home the Copa del Rey and the UEFA Super Cup 4-3 on penalties versus Atalanta. For a Real Madrid season, for their lofty standards, this is kind of low-key a failure, as they were knocked out in the round of 16 to Milan. That was a season gone to waste for the offside merchant. Haaland, you have been redeemed, my son. No robberies went on here in 2025. I think that was the rightful Ballon d'Or winner, if you ask me. Season 3's up next, where we've got the World Cup to look forward to, so let's see how much that sways the Ballon d'Or voting and nominees. But after the whole Real Madrid not showing up, that whole controversy, Vinicius Jr., all the outrage on social media, is he ever going to win it? Is anyone going to vote for him or nominate him? Has he caused that much of a rift? It's going to be huge in the grand scheme of things, like in terms of the football politics. Like, it's basically a glorified popularity contest at the end of the day, but that's just thrown a spanner in the works. In my opinion, I think it's cool to see like different positions win the award. Like back when Cannavaro won it in 2006, the only defender to ever win a Golden Ball. 2026's top 4 nominees are here, and we have the same old faces, Haaland and Foden. However, 2 new players enter the mix. Vinny Jr.'s first nomination, now Savinho at Man City. It might just be over for us and this mod if Haaland goes 3 in a row. And the Golden Ball goes to the Norwegian again. He has done it. The best player in the world, hands down, without a doubt. So let's see if it was actually legit and he earned it. Did he even get Norway to the World Cup? Is he even a serious baller like that? He couldn't even qualify the Netherlands for the World Cup in this lesser version of it. Only 24 teams. Norway were one of the 5 national teams that missed out on the biggest event in the world, the 2026 World Cup, and it went to my boys, Italia, with a 2-1 win over Messi and Argentina in the final. Erling, my guy, if you want to be considered one of the GOATs, you can win as many Ballon d'Ors as you want. But the World Cup, that's the ultimate prize. That's the one everyone wants. I'm expecting bigger and better for 2030, and hell, even the 2028 Euros coming up. In a season where they actually finished runners-up to Liverpool in the Prem. 6-point gap between them and the Reds over in the Community Shield. They did take that one out in pre-season against Chelsea 3-2. And in the FA Cup, again, still Haaland has this one to tick off the bucket list in this simulation, as well as the Carabao. It started to look like a failure of a season, but then when you switch over to the European campaign, that's where they put all their eggs into one basket and just went all out in the Champions League as they won in the big dance 2-1 against PSG, and a little bit of an oil money derby going on there. That was the big scalp. That was the big trophy that got him over the line in the Ballon d'Or voting. 30 goals and 6 assists in 56 games, whereas his other Ballon d'Or nominees, fellow teammate Savinho, this time around was completely benched by Jeremy Doku. 38 goals and 4 assists, outscoring Haaland. So who knows, the Belgian could be next up for a Ballon d'Or. Kind of thinking he got robbed in a way. If Belgium were actually in the game, Doku could have had a serious chance, won the Premier League Golden Boot, had a breakout season at the Etihad. Haaland nowhere to be seen in these rankings. Foden's 19 goals and 13 assists collectively were enough to land him in the top 4. We all know it didn't come home for the 3 Lions on the world stage, and he was getting benched by Saka and Gordon. So in the post-Southgate era, he's going to have to do a lot more than that. Vinny Jr. was also considered for the award, as Real Madrid again finishing runners-up to Atleti. A 9-point margin there. Mind the gap, as they couldn't win the Super Copa either. They also went out to lose the Copa de España, so Vinny's on a little bit of a dry streak here. And the Champions League saw them knocked out in the quarterfinals to Liverpool, 5-4 in aggregate. So this was another big fail of a season for Real. Look, lad, you could score all the fancy goals, do all the roulettes and rainbow rainbow flicks you want, but if you aren't winning silverware and you're not taking home any trophies at the end of the day, 38 goals and 19 assists. Haaland's Holy Grail Champions League ranks above that. Lil bro, you ain't there just yet. Is anyone going to be up to the challenge of breaking Haaland's Ballon d'Or streak in 2027? I want to see someone step up. We need a new winner. Damn, I guess I spoke this one into existence. All that Haaland slander, and this is what it got us. A top 4 consisting of Rodrigo, Vinny Jr., Alves, and Mbappe. I got no idea who this Alves guy is. Possibly a regen. Who are you, Alves? I got to do some digging. Miguel Alves at Real Madrid, left wing / striker, the Brazilian. He's not a Neymar regen. He could probably be a youth academy prospect from their academy, but this is one Brazil-dominated nominees list. No Mbappe, no Haaland. We're going to get a different winner, so let's see who wins this thing, and it is that man, Vinicius Jr. All that protesting, all that complaining on the socials got him the Ballon d'Or in 2027. Now, did he deserve it is another question, or did the voters just give him a pity vote and feel sorry for him? But for the first time in 20 years since Kaká or Ronaldinho, a Brazilian, has won the Golden Ball. We still have Jeremy Doku outperforming, outscoring Haaland with 49 goal contributions, so how he wasn't nominated surprises me. I think Rodrigo transferred to City in the next season, so I'm going to have to check him over at Real Madrid. Meanwhile, Haaland's 40 goal contributions, 36 goals, 4 assists, wasn't enough, and I think the Ballon d'Or voters, the footballing community, are starting to see through him. Another campaign where Jeremy Doku finishes its top goal scorer. 2 golden boots back-to-back for him as City finish through runners-up again, this time only by 1 point to Arsenal. The Gunners finally winning it. Champions of England in 2027, and the Community Shield this time goes to Man City with a 2-1 win at Wembley. Liverpool got their revenge with another 2-1 win. Quite a close affair. They were eliminated to Grimsby Town on pens in round 4, so you know it's over. Haaland with 1 Mickey Mouse Community Shield, losing the UEFA Super Cup to Europa League winners Milan. 2-0 in the final there, and the Champions League winners, I think that's decided it. Vinny Jr. with Real Madrid, a 2-0 win. We've got the data, we've got the results to prove it. Winning the Champions League gets you that, you know, extra little bit of credibility and pretty much guarantees you winning the Ballon d'Or. That's why we saw so many Real Madrid candidates. Real Madrid and Vinny not only taking home the Champions League, but champions of Spain, a Centurion campaign with 101 points, asserting themselves as a European juggernaut again, as they weren't able to win the Super Copa de España, but took home the Copa del Rey in an El Clasico final, 2-1. A nice little treble there for Vinny Jr. and all of his Real Madrid contenders, as he didn't take home the Golden Boot. Lewandowski with 37. Do we have a legitimate, rightful winner? And 42 goals and 25 assists. Damn, he got his act together this year and took what I said personally, because that is absolute insanity. Managed to net 67 goal contributions. How did Mbappe not get a nomination? 41 goals and 11 assists. That Brazilian bias came through as Rodrigo managed to sneak into the top 4 with 21 goals and 17. He might have learned the offside rule this season. 52 goal contributions, outperforming his rival Haaland. What about the regen? This Alves guy already up to an 88 rating. To be honest, he frauded his way into the top 4. 1 appearance for the Galacticos all season. Barely had a sniff. Yeah, Young Player of the Year award, 1000%, but they removed that in FC 25. So again, I've got no clue how he was even in the conversation. That Real Madrid PR is working overtime. A new dominant era could be upon us, and this Ballon d'Or rivalry runs deep here, as we've got the big 3, Vinny Jr., Mbappe, and Haaland. However, this guy Alves, like, I think he's actually a Vinny Jr. pre-gen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my little theory about him. He's been nominated again, and this could be a glitch, like, because Vinny Jr. gets nominated, his pre-gen also gets nominated, but the eventual winner, we've got the Brazilian boy going back-to-back here. This one's for the Brazilian favelas, 2 in a row. I would have loved to check in on the 2028 Copa America, but it literally just doesn't exist in career mode anymore. Only the Euros and World Cup, which Denmark actually went on to win in a shock upset victory over Spain in the final. Their boys Højlund and Wind up top. And where were Haaland's Norway, you ask? Nowhere to be seen, not even qualifying for the Euros. Mbappe's at fault here too. France knocked out 1-0 against the Three Lions in the quarterfinals. It's been an onslaught of Real Madrid winners and nominations, the top goal scorer being Savinho. These Brazilians are really stepping it up in this career save, as he outscored Haaland Haaland with 35 goals and 4 assists, 39 goal contributions, as 2027's nominee Rodrigo kind of falling off a cliff here. Not putting up those exact robotic Terminator-esque numbers that we're all used to him putting up in real life. When you've got Joshua Zirkzee and Gabriel Jesus at Brentford outscoring you, you know there's a problem. You know something's up. That is nowhere near his best for the 3-time Ballon d'Or winner. As City this time actually did take home the Premier League crown with 86 points, finishing on top being English champions again. They didn't take home an FA Cup. In the Carabao Cup, they did manage to pull through with a W there, 2-1 win over the Gunners at Wembley, and the Champions League final might have decided things at the Ballon d'Or ceremony. The votes going all to the Real Madrid players, Vini Jr., Mbappe, and Alves all lapping it up. It was a battle for the ages, a battle for the Ballon d'Or taking place right here. It was Vini Jr. and the gang to reign supreme and really make a statement here in 2028 as, whoa, look at this, 94 rated, 3 of their top ballers, 38 goals, 17 assists for Vini at the peak of his powers now. He's 27, 55 goal contributions in 57 games. He's putting up the numbers, and Alves this time, at least he actually made his way onto the pitch. At least he made an impact. 16 appearances, 8 goals and 3 assists. Did he even really deserve to be in the top 4? I don't think so. They are running low in the midfield department, man. This is a really thin squad. Some random youth academy talent involved. Arda Güler bench warming, and a 42-year-old Luka Modric still running the midfield. I don't get it, man. It looks like they've sold half their team and haven't even bothered replacing them. They love their pre-gens, bro. They've got a Kevin De Bruyne pre-gen just sitting here in the reserves. This is the goddamn luckiest club I've ever seen. Vini had to battle it out against the likes of Nicola Pepe and Jean-Philippe Mateta for the golden boot. The 27 goals was enough to take home the top goal scorer award. 90 points was enough to see them champions of Spain. Over in the Supercopa, again, they somehow just seem to fumble this trophy. They don't seem to take it seriously. And the Copa del Rey, they were nowhere to be seen. Knocked out in the quarterfinals, but they won in the round of 16, but it was Espanyol to make it and play Real Betis in the next round. So yeah, career mode's playing up again, FC 25 and all its glitches. Mods still can't save this game, bro. How is that even possible? How does that work? The Champions League, they did take that one home, and the cherry on top was in fact the UEFA Super Cup, winning 2-1 against Europa League winners West Ham. It's the Real Madrid versus Man City showdown going on right now, but let's cross our fingers and hope that 2029 has something fresh to show us. Otherwise, Vini Jr. could potentially go on a generational run right here. Season 6 nominees are here, and the top 4 reads as follows. Vini Jr., Vlahovic, which is a new one, Haaland and Mbappe are all in the race. Can he replicate Haaland's three-peat here in Season 6? Or will a new champion like Vlahovic rise to the occasion, as the Serbian is one of the lowest rated players I've ever seen nominated? Will there be an upset? Will there be a robbery? And now we have Mbappe on the board. He's responded as the Frenchman finally has learnt the offside rule and became the best player in the world here in 2029. Now the Ballon d'Or's doing the rounds at Real Madrid. The Norwegian leading the chase, but what do the numbers say? I'm more keen to find out what an 87 rated Dusan Vlahovic did to be nominated. Here we go. It's 37 goals, 5 assists, 42 goal contributions in 54 appearances for the Serb. He's pushing 30, but went clear and actually tied on goals with Jay Horn at Inter Milan. Jonathan the German sharing the golden boot. They became champions, finishing on top with 90 points here in Serie A over in the Coppa Italia. Knocked out in the round of 16 to Sampdoria. However, made a very deep run in the Champions League and actually took home the Holy Grail for the first time since the 90s. It has been decades since the Bianconeri have become champions of Europe, and a 2-1 win over Bayern in the big dance saw them prevail, and that was a key factor to why Vlahovic ended up in the top 4. A nice 2 major trophy haul, but it wasn't enough to beat out Kylian. 24 goals, finishing runners-up to Julian Alvarez. However, Los Blancos clutched up with 81 points, probably one of the lowest tallies ever to win the league, but they did it nonetheless in the Supercopa, got the better of Barca 2-1 in an El Clasico final, and no domestic treble here. Valencia eliminate them 2-1 over in the round of 16, and they were eliminated from the Champions League. I don't even think they make the playoff? They did. They lost out to Arsenal after a lowly 23rd position in the league phase. They flopped hard in the Champions League, and that's usually the deciding factor when it comes to the Ballon d'Or winner in this mod. So I'm expecting some huge numbers, but that isn't really the case here. The Frenchman only with 30 goals and 5 assists, and the back-to-back Ballon d'Or winner 23 and 11. Something's off. Something's not right. He's supposed to be in his prime. He's just hit 30 and could potentially be on the decline from here on out. I'm not sure about that one, you know. 2029, there wasn't really that many standout performers, and I love how we have the stats. We have the data to prove it, making sure we have all the numbers to back up our claims. And yeah, Haaland didn't really perform either. It was kind of an off year for everyone. Oh my god, a 35-year-old 75 rated Memphis Depay nearly outscored Erling Haaland. Something's going on. FC 25 career mode, it's giving me weird vibes right now. As season 7 approaches, 2030, things are only going to get crazier. It's 2030, season 6, we've had a World Cup, and here are your top 4 nominees. Exact same as last year, plus Yamal instead of Vlahovic. I'm surprised he hasn't shown up earlier, but finally, Barcelona have entered the chat. And maybe the Spanish let out all their frustrations on the 2030 World Cup. Lamine Yamal has taken home the golden ball, but I gotta dig deeper. Let's see if this one's fair and if he actually deserved it. And the World Cup final actually played out between Portugal and the Netherlands went on to win it. Okay, no Spain to be seen, as Xavi Simons and the crowd look like they can't contain themselves in front of the World Cup trophy. Although Lamine did get named in the team of the tournament alongside a lot of Spanish players like Pedri, Gavi, a couple of regens like Sandoval and Velasco. He ranked 10th in the top goal scorers list for the World Cup, 7 appearances, 3 goals. His nation finished top of Group D with 9 points, then went on to thrash Iceland 5-1. In the quarterfinals, took down Sweden 4-2, but lost out against Portugal 4-1 in the semi-finals on pens, but didn't pull away with any Ballon d'Or nominees from it. Was he able to carry Barcelona as he stayed loyal to his boyhood club? The Blaugrana finishing a 3rd place in La Liga with 73 points, though this is not looking good so far. They were able to take home a couple of other pieces of silverware like the Supercopa with a 1-0 win against Los Blancos in the final, and the Copa de España were knocked out and eliminated against Atletico Madrid. As the Champions League, yeah, that's the key factor, and the Johan Cruyff derby up against Ajax in the final. That's where it's won and lost, people. The Champions League is so crucial now to win with this mod. That means numbers, they have to live up to the hype. They have to be big. Ansu Fati is low-key having a career revival. Yamal nowhere to be seen. Yamal, how on earth did you win the Ballon d'Or? That's what I want to know. What? Nah, bro. What's going on here? There's got to be an investigation into this. How is he not getting over a single minute, a single appearance off the bench? He's in the starting 11. He's in the starting lineup. Maybe because this formation is left mid and right mid, and he's a winger, so he's not actually playing in that spot. This guy Diaby is getting more minutes in game time. It's just the dumbest, most frustrating glitch ever. But this could go down as the biggest robbery in Ballon d'Or history. Not even the mods can fix FC 25 career mode. Who's he paid off? Who's he bribed? Because that is the most undeserved win I have ever witnessed in my life. I ain't gonna lie, this Real Madrid-Barcelona PR needs to be studied. That Champions League win acts as your ticket, your gateway to a guaranteed Ballon d'Or victory. Mbappe and Vini Jr., their numbers obviously are going to trump Yamal 10 times over. At least they actually played and made an impact. 29 goals and 16 for Vini, 17 and 12 for Mbappe. I think the Ballon d'Or voters just started getting sorry for Barcelona and how much Real Madrid were dominating them. They needed to restore the balance in the footballing universe because they couldn't keep having this Real Madrid dominance. They wanted to make it exciting. As we enter a new decade, the 2030s, I told you a lot of things are going to get out of hand in this simulation, and what does Haaland have to say about this? I mean, talk about Yamal coming away with it all you want, but how does 6 goals and 2 assists and 12 appearances get you nominated in that top 4? He is coasting by his previous reputation and his 93 rating, because unless City went on to win every trophy imaginable, I mean, they did go on to take home the Prem, the Community Shield, they actually lost out, and lost the FA Cup final to Newcastle 1-0, but kind of redeemed themselves here with a Carabao Cup win. So a domestic double, a Champions League exit in the quarterfinals. Haaland, low-key, might need to be put on fraud watch for the years to come. Now in 2031, is it time for us to see a few new names on the shortlist? Vini Jr. is back again. We have Farias, Oscar Arsene and Vanat. I've got no idea who those three are. Facundo Farias at RB Leipzig. That's going to be a new record. An 84 rated striker being nominated for the 2031 Ballon d'Or. He is joining Arsenal in the summer or in the January transfer window. Oskarsson, the Icelandic striker, 84 rated again, 27 at Valencia. What is the go this season? So many mid-strikers being in contention for the Golden Ball. Ladislav Vanat and 29 RB Leipzig again. Vinny Jr. should have this in the bag alone, just based purely on ratings. Something's going on over here at RB Leipzig. Is an upset on the cards here? Will history be made? Is it announced? There we go. It's announced, and it will be Facundo Farias. No, what? I'm pretty sure that's Farias. It took all the heat and suspense out of the moment because the social media post just glitched out. This time we get confirmation from Fabrizio Romano. In 2031, it goes to the Argentine striker. He accomplishes what Lautaro couldn't and goes down as the lowest rated player to ever win a Ballon d'Or, potentially even the shortest at 5'7". The deeper we go in this experiment slash simulation, the more invested we get, and that is the first telltale sign. That's a dead giveaway. RB Leipzig winning the Champions League, which we've seen time and time again prove to be that decisive factor. Two nominees for their victory against Porto in a 3-2 win in the final. They knocked out Man City along the way, 5-3 on penalties after it finished 4-4. Now we can peel back the curtain to see what exactly these players did. Could he be the lowest scoring Ballon d'Or winner as Oskarsson, 30 goals and 5 assists for the Icelandic king, but then Farias, 20 goals and 1. Oskarsson even scored more goals in the Champions League. However, I guess that Argentinian bias gets you a long way. I'm not gonna lie, I see the mod pulling the strings. I know what it's doing, but I think Oskarsson was robbed here. The Iceman managed a top 4 finish in the Bundesliga Golden Boot race, and RB Leipzig actually did go on to win the Bundesliga. So not the worst campaign for the Red Bull club, as they went on to do a treble, winning the German Super Cup 3-2 to launch the season against Bayern. Didn't make much of a run in the DFB Pokal, but what was most important was that they won the Holy Grail. And hold up, wait a minute, Vladislav Vanat was also nominated, the Ukrainian striker, but with 7 appearances and 1 goal. This is another fishy nomination. I have no idea how he ended up in the top 4, but what are RB Leipzig cooking right here? I'm sure Vinny is having a cry on social media as we speak, because these kind of stats for the Brazilian, 34 goals and 15, clearly outperformed Farias and pretty much all those RB Leipzig players. But hey, at the end of the day, Los Blancos didn't see the Champions League title. They didn't add to their collection, so the Argentine was more favored when it came through to the voting, putting up 49 goal contributions, carrying this club on his back at 30. On a team level, on an individual level, he's thriving. He should be winning it year on year, but because Real are performing so poorly, finishing 3rd in the league, I guess they won the Super Copa. They didn't win the Copa de España, not a decent run in the Champions League, and he doesn't help his case either, finishing 2nd in the Golden Boot race to Ollie Watkins of all players. Let's see if he's going to go on a redemption arc in 2032, or if we're going to see some more crazy and wacky results. It's Season 8 with this Ballon d'Or overhaul mod, and I don't really know what to expect anymore. 8 years down the track, Mbappe, Vinny Jr. and Saka nominated. However, Stacey at Bayern Munich could be a real wild card here. And don't tell me we have come across another pre-gen here. This is a Harry Kane. No, it's not his regen because he's still playing at 39 years old at PSG. He's still probably fighting for his life to get a trophy, but Jordan Stacey at 96, only 22 years old, despite him looking like he's a middle-aged man, this kid might ruffle some feathers in this 2032 Ballon d'Or ceremony. Was the prophecy correct? Who's won it? Who's taken it home? It is that man, the English super striker Stacey, to claim his first of his career so far. He is the best player in the world, literally on a fundamental level. 96 overall at 22 is insane. However, the 2032 Euros did take place this summer. So what kind of impact has that had on the winnings, as England made the final up against Spain, a replay of the 2024 final, which I was actually at, and whether they have Thomas Tuchel or Gareth Southgate, it ain't coming home for England, as history repeated itself with a 2-1 Spain win. Just like back in Berlin, España are champions of Europe. How many goals did this Stacey guy get though? He might be a problem for the next couple of seasons. He managed the same number of goals as Bino Gittins. For his first international tournament, for his first hit out with the Three Lions, he made his presence known on the international scene, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. The first time Ballon d'Or winner was standing on business. At 5'5", he hasn't got much to stand on. However, these short kings come through with the golden ball. They're following in Messi's footsteps. 38 goals, 10 assists, 48 goal contributions in all competitions, 57 appearances. And to think that he is only going to get better. He is years away from his prime. On club and country level, this is a scary proposition. However, he lost out the Bundesliga Golden Boot race to Lautaro Martinez, nominated in the top 4 back in Season 2. He killed it at Leverkusen with 26 goals. And he couldn't carry Munich to German domination with 70 points, runners-up against BVB. They also lost out in the Super Cup to surprise package RB Leipzig 3-1, and another domestic final loss 1-0 against Leverkusen. They just fell short of the mark in every regard. However, the UEFA Super Cup, they weren't involved in that, but that's the kicker. That is the one that you want to win. The one trophy that'll get your player a Ballon d'Or. A 1-0 narrow victory against PSG. History repeating itself again. Bro, that is criminal. A 24 placed finish in the league phase, and they went on to win the whole thing. I've honestly never seen anything like it. They have pulled off a miracle. Captain Stacey arriving through with 9 Champions League goals, top goal scorer in the competition alongside another regen of sorts. It makes sense that we saw Saka in the top 4 being nominated as Arsenal won the league out by 1 point, and we've spotted another frauded nomination again. Saka is washed beyond belief. 8 appearances, 1 goal and 2 assists as the captain of the club. That is damn near disrespectful. Despite Vini Jr. and Mbappe carrying Real Madrid to a La Liga win, a 90-point campaign, even in the Super Copa, came through and lost it out to Bilbao in the final, but did pick up a cheeky domestic double. The next gen, the next crop of generational talents are starting to rear their heads. Vini Jr. and Stacey managed to get exactly 48 goal contributions each. 33 goals and 15 for Vini Jr. and Mbappe coming through with 38 goal contributions. But we all know the golden rule by now. We all know what rule this mod follows. We all knew a Bayern player would be heir to the throne and pull through. Oh boy, we are well and truly in that Stacey season right now, as he has a Ballon d'Or, not a Ballon d'Or clause, a release clause of nearly £500 million. We're nearly a decade into this thing, and 2033's Ballon d'Or nominations have been posted. Stacey's back for more. Vini Jr. keeps his name involved, and we have some new boys, the likes of Hassan and Knežević. Chelsea must have had a campaign to write home about, because Branimir Knežević, he's a Serbian striker in his prime, and he's rocking that mohawk like nobody else could. At an 89 overall, he is just a whisker away from being world class, but I can tell you who is world class. The Egyptian Hassan. He is so good that they had to name him twice. Hassan squared, Hassan times 2. You guessed it, it's Mo Salah's regen. He's ended up at Chelsea, and let's see if the Egyptian can do what his regen couldn't. But to be honest though, who's beating him out? Who is taking down Jordan Stacey? Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't, and that's what I've come to learn here, with Stacey taking home his second Ballon d'Or, going back to back in 2032 and 2033. And if this was a real social media feature, there's no way the comments would be this positive. Like there'd be some sort of robbery in the comments below. Some players' fan base would be attacking each other, and you can't debate it. The Bavarians simply head and shoulders above the rest in the Bundesliga, with a 20-point gap between them and second place, despite him being 98 overall, tied in the Golden Boot race with Evan Nilsson. Domestically, they're a powerhouse again, but the DFB Pokal says otherwise, as they lost out in a Dirt Klassiker final 1-0 to Dortmund, and actually went on to lose to Aston Villa in UEFA Super Cup, lost out to the Europa League champions there, didn't even make the final of the Champions League, as Villa lost out 9-8 on penalties to Athletic Bilbao. And guess who knocked Bayern out in the quarterfinals? It was Villa, who just continued to haunt them. In real life, on FC25, they can't get away from each other. He is an absolute gun. Literally, he could defy all records and have this award on lock as the Golden Ball winner with 38 goals, 11 assists in 52 appearances. I mean, how is the guy supposed to get any kind of support when this team has 18 players, and he is one of 2 players that are in the 90s? He has no support from his team whatsoever. They are 1 injury away from literally forfeiting every game. Make it make sense, as Chelsea's nominated duo ended up winning the Premier League with an extremely low points tally, 73 points over Fulham in second with 70. They didn't show up in either the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup finals, and were knocked out in the semi-finals of the Champions League to Aston Villa. So I'm expecting some big numbers from these two if they were nominated for the Ballon d'Or just by winning the Premier League. And no, it's kind of that Saka situation. 19 goals and 10 for the Mohawk master, Branimir Hassan. Your name's a meme, you're the regen of Salah, yet 15 goals and 8 assists in all comps is not good enough. I don't even know why they bothered showing up to the ceremony. It's just a waste of time if you're coming through with production stats like that. Now, could Vinny Jr. mount a claim to at least be in the conversation of challenging Stacey? Now, at 32 years of age, he's starting to decline, he's starting to drop off, but is still maintaining that 94 overall. So as long as he's in that world-class bracket, I don't see him leaving the top 4 or the nominees list anytime soon. Now, I've decided to give the Ballon d'Or overhaul mod one last roll of the dice, one last dance here in 2034. We've hit that decade mark, and I feel like we're back in 2024, because up for the award are the likes of Haaland and Vinny Jr. We also have Stacey on the hunt for his three-peat, and a new talent entering the mix, Farkas. A Hungarian left winger / right winger, can also play at cam. 90 rated, 29 years old. I got no idea who he could possibly be. He's just a random regen of someone, or he's just a youth academy talent from Spurs. I know we've just had Halloween, mate, but take off the mask. I don't know, there's something about him that's giving me weird vibes. Jordan, he's at the perfect rank at a 99. He is pushing boundaries and pushing the limits. It's going to take something special to beat him out to the three-peat, as it's Erling Haaland out of nowhere. The Norwegian has come through and swooped in just when we all thought he was dead and buried. He's back on the podium to claim the 4th of his career. How did the World Cup pan out? We've had Spain do their dominance run again. Just like in the early 2010s, they're on the verge of repeating that same feat here in the early 2030s. They took down my boys Italia 2-1 in the big dance, but did Norway even qualify this time? They did. They came through in second in Group D. Over in the round of 16, they faced the United States, where they lost 2-0. Haaland got sent packing, so I don't really know if that deserves a Ballon d'Or nomination. So we must have had a massive season for Man City. Stacey cooked up no goals at the World Cup. In 4 appearances, England stunk the gaff. The 3 Lions eliminated early in the round of 16 to the Dutch 3-1. 10 years down the track, and Erling was in his bag. Finally qualified Norway for the World Cup. 24 goals and 3 assists. I don't know about that one, Chief. On an individual level, he had a fellow countryman, Johan Lund, outscore him, and also bag more assists, 36 goal contributions. It's got to come down to the trophies here, and yes, Man City did win the Premier League with 79 points. That is a very interesting top 4. Nevertheless, the citizens keep on keeping on. No FA Cup final won, no Carabao Cup either, and in the UEFA Super Cup, they did take down Bilbao 4-1, the Champions League winners. Haaland won the Europa League last time out. Could they upgrade and win the Champions League? No, that was for Spurs and that Academy Hungarian kid to get the better of Nice 2-1 in the final. Haaland City knocked out in the round of 16, 3-2 on AG against Napoli. The jury's still out here. At 33, I think they're just giving him one before he hangs up the boots, because that was not very convincing. Spurs won a trophy, so you know we're starting to enter the realm of unrealistic territory. And this Ballon d'Or nominee that I'm dying to know more about, Benz Farkas. The 19-goal and 10 assist season was enough. I guess he carried the North Londoners to win a Champions League before Arsenal, even though Jonathan Horn came through with 24 goals and 1. He must have put in more star performances, more man of the match displays over the course of the season. With the trends we've been witnessing throughout this simulation, I reckon in another year, the golden ball would have gone to him. This lad must be fuming, literally on top of the mountain, on top of world football. What did he do wrong this season on a personal level, on a team accomplishments level? Whoa, okay, he must have been injured the entire season. What went wrong here? 11 appearances, 4 goals and 1 assist? How do you even get a nomination? He must have had a long-term injury, because that, you're paying a player 470k a week, nearly with a £300 million price tag. I'd love like an injury history feature to see what kind of problem he had off the pitch, because Bayern didn't do too well without him, losing out the Bundesliga crown, couldn't defend their title, but did win the Super Cup. They also did take home the DFB Pokal, so a cheeky domestic double, but were knocked out in the Champions League round of 16 to Atleti 2-1. We made it through the 10-year sim with the Ballon d'Or overhaul mod. Let me know down down in the comments below what you thought of it. Were there any robberies? Were the rightful winners awarded? Or was the Barcelona Real Madrid bias still ever present? Or were you just confused with the abundance of pre-gens we kept seeing pop up? To be honest, I saw some better results, but at the end of the day, I still do have some mixed feelings about it, but it's well worth giving a go. Let me know if there's any mods you come across that you think deserve a fully fledged video like this one. Drop a like on the video if you've made it this far and want some more modded content coming your way. Join the Discord below if you want access to all the mods I use in all my videos. And why not? Join our community we've got going on over there. As always, I've been your boy Sir BCHD. Have a great day. I'll catch you lot in the very next video. Bye.